All right, how's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are going to be doing a first impressions slash review of the Spartacus boxing sparring set. Okay, so if you guys know Spartacus boxing, I have been I guess not, you can say working with them, but I've had a discount code with them for almost a year and a half now, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe a little over a year. And Spartacus Boxing was one of the first brands that really caught my eye in terms of doing custom work. And still to this day, I say there has been no brand that has done custom work like Spartacus Boxing. So I got to give them a lot of props for that. I remember seeing their gloves, their old gloves way back then. And really like those gloves being very unique at the time. No other glove had that like round puffy look, maybe Empire, but again, that's a UK based brand, so you don't see it here. So yeah, so if you've seen my reviews on their gloves, you have one right there, you have the other one up there on the far left. Those gloves are some of my favorite gloves of all time, especially the fight gloves. Those have been so good to me. I ended up getting a sparring set from them, okay, and let me tell you, I was very excited for this, and I'm excited to make this video. So Spartacus Boxing, thank you so much for all the great work that you have done. Keep up the good work. To be honest, it's very inspiring as a brand owner to see just like how you start small and you grow and you grow and you grow, and now everybody is talking about your brand. So it's very inspiring, you know. So let's get friggin' into it. We have the headgear right here. We have the groin cup right here. We have two 16-ounce gloves here. So let's go ahead and attack the gloves first, because that's the main thing I want to talk about. So these were made to custom order. I did ask Spartacus Boxing for a more compact looking 16-ounce. Now, I was not descriptive enough in what I wanted these gloves to be. So although they are great, they are not how I wanted them to be, but I want to clarify, this is not on Spartacus Boxing's, they didn't make an error. They did exactly what I asked. I just asked. I wasn't as descriptive as I needed to be, okay? But what I asked for was a compact 16-ounce. What I wanted, right, was basically the same size glove they have, just making it a little shorter, right? Shorter wrist cuff and everything like that. Again, I was not descriptive enough. So what I asked for unintentionally was just a compact glove up here, okay? Which is essentially what I got, right? I got basically the fight glove version of a training glove, right? So this is almost like the fight glove, but just in a 16-ounce shape and a little bit more padding on there, obviously, for safety. This is not as protective as their sparring glove, but it is still protective enough for sparring, in my opinion, okay? I'm one of the people that opinion that Gleto Reyes are fine for sparring. I think if you complain about those, you complain about anything, right? Those gloves, I've been hit by them hundreds of times, get busted nose, no problem. It's just a glove, man. Any glove with the punch well landed on your face, it's gonna hurt, okay? I don't believe in pillowy gloves, this and that. Winnings, a lot of people say those are pillowy. No, dude, if you've ever gotten cracked hard in the face with a winning glove, there's no such thing as a pillowy glove, okay? The only pillowy gloves that I've ever seen or used are the Sting fight gloves, right? Not the pro fight gloves, but the amateur fight gloves. And then the ringside IMF Tech gloves. Those gloves are, okay, those are like pillows, but those are not winnings, you know? Cool. Little rant there. So let's get into it. So these gloves are in a 16-ounce shape. I'm going to get up close and show you everything that you're looking at here. This is a 16-ounce shaped glove. As you can see, not overly padded. It's not huge, not too round, but it does have that old school round look and the triple ribbed cuff, which I did ask him for, and he absolutely delivered on the vision that I sent, right? I love that round look. That's my absolute favorite type of gloves, that old school look. As you can see there, laces looking nice and clean, protective wrist padding, right? No skimping out on the wrist, right? Ant-Man written on the thumb, looking super dope per usual. Let's press on the top of the glove here so you can see what that looks like, right? Great glove, okay? So this is the left glove. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my hand. All right, as you can see, It's still a little long on this part, and this is the part I wanted short, but that was not on Spartacus at all. This was my error. I should have asked for a shorter cuff, right, or maybe just a flat cuff. As you can see there, boom, very easy to open. I've used this glove plenty of times for sparring and a couple times on the bag, mostly for sparring. As you can see, opens up super nice. Boom, pop that jab. Open up the glove. Boom, pop that jab right there. Very, very easy to open, as you can see there. And this was like that straight out of the box, right? It wasn't like a glove that I really had to break in too much. It just came in with that very broken feeling. So, in terms of the gloves, I absolutely love them for sparring. They're some of my favorite sparring gloves. Let me tell you why. If you know me, you know I love gloves that are easy to open, and these require almost no effort to open. So whenever I'm catching a shot, right, I know I haven't posted a lot of sparring footage or just training footage. I don't believe in posting a lot of sparring footage. I think that's bad gym etiquette, especially when you make yourself look like you're whooping everybody's butt, right? So I don't really like to post sparring. But whenever I'm sparring, I'm usually here, right? Right hand here, left hand here, a little feint there. So this glove open for me is a big, big tool. Whereas if the glove is closed, you can still parry, but I don't get that flush connection of moving someone's hand right out the way. They pop a jab right down the center. One of the things I like to do is I shove that jab over my left shoulder, slip in, step forward, step out, right? But with a closed hand, you still can do it, but it feels, for me, a little awkward to almost like knock on that, same way you knock on the door, right? You knock that glove. It just doesn't feel right for me, right? When I have it open, I can almost maneuver the hand, right? Or when someone's coming for a low jab, it's not uncommon for me to grab their hand, right? Open hand, move them out the way, boom, pop a two right down the pipe, okay? It's not uncommon for me to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that as easily if my gloves were like this, super tight. It feels very awkward for me. So for me, this is very, very beneficial. Boom, catch a jab right there. Boom, catch right there, right here, right? I love that in sparring gloves. So this has very quickly become some of my favorite sparring gloves. And then the black and yellow colorway, that's just a part of it. The fact that it has my name on it, to me, that's very cool. So again, sparring gloves, I actually really like these. And this is, again, the sparring gloves in a slightly more compact fist mold with the foam and horsehair blend that they use in their fight gloves, okay? Now, we have the groin cup here and the head guard here. Right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, this is my favorite groin guard that I have. This has actually almost just now started to be in competition with my PSS boxing groin guard. It's between this groin guard and then that groin guard for me for my top #1 spot. I have used the winning groin guard. I have it still. I've used the Guerra Boxing groin guard. That's my brand, and it's not as good as these other brands yet, but you know, it's still a work in production. And I'm just being honest. You know, I'm never gonna just lie and tell you, hey, my brand is better than winning when I know I have a long ways to go, right? And it's a completely different glove than winning, anyways. But yes, this is one of my favorite groin guards. Until I got my PSS Boxing, this was my favorite one. I'll tell you why. This has a little bit of a higher cut than a winning groin guard. So although the winning groin guard doesn't restrict mobility at all, this is a little longer right here and then less long here. So it just fits a little more comfortable for me whenever I'm ducking on the sides or slipping or rolling, right? It just fits a little more comfortable for me on that end. What I do love about this is that it's a very soft padding. So as you can see, it has that same soft padding mold as a winning groin guard, right? There are some groin guards like the Fly groin guard that I've tried that are very, very stiff. I'm talking about the synthetic leather ones. Freaking stiff as a brick to put on. I bend at the waist and it's like digging into so I'm getting freaking stabbed by my groin guard. The shape of that groin guard is good, the Fly one, but it's so freaking stiff. I feel like I'm getting stabbed, right? This one doesn't have that, right? Because when I bend down, see what happens? It just comes down with me, right? It doesn't feel like I'm fighting to get into position, okay? Bless you. So, sorry, my wife just sneezed. But yeah, so aside from the fact that, again, it has my name on it right there, Spartacus Boxing logo, right? This is a size medium. I am a size medium in groin cup and headgear. The back of it, look at that, black and yellow right there. Very easy to stretch. I love how much they stretch. The lace is super clean. Again, right now, my favorite groin guard, but it just got a little competition from PSS Boxing. Now this is the one I wanted to address the most, and I would say out of these 3 pieces, this is my least favorite, but not because this is bad quality. I think Spartacus Boxing has some of the best quality that I've seen. They have really, really good quality. So the quality of leather that they use, their stitching is really good. I have never had issues with Spartacus Boxing stitching. Never, not once at all, not even in those gloves that I've used for a very long time. Gloves that I've seen other people use. No issues with stitching, no issues with leather peeling. Only the metallic, but that's metallic leather that's gonna peel at some point, and it's been a little over a year that I've had those gloves and they're just now starting to peel, right? So no issues on quality. However, this headgear is the old school headgear. It is a bigger headgear than what I'm used to. So I'm used to wearing the winning headgear, or even the Guerra Boxing headgear. I'll show you how that fits just in comparison. So this is the Guerra Boxing headgear. As you can see, very slim fit. It's not too big, right? I'm used to wearing this mold of headgear. Slip, boom. So I kind of, in a sense, have memorized how it feels to slip a punch in this shape headgear, right? So since this one is a little bit bigger, more puffy, right? Just from a side perspective, I'm gonna give you what that looks like, right? See, it's a little more puffy from the side right there. The ears are more puffy, which I love, right? It is taking me a little bit of time to adjust, and I do notice I get hit more in this headgear because it's a little bigger, right? So when I slip, right, I'm usually used to knowing how much I have to slip to avoid that punch, but sometimes with this headgear, I'll slip, and boom, I'll get clipped right here on the ear, or maybe right here towards the back of the head. Same thing on the inside slip here, right? I'm usually here, that punch clears my head, boom, it'll catch my ear, something like that. Not a big deal. Or when I'll pop a high guard, since it's more padded, my gloves are more out, right? Whereas if the headgear was slimmer, my gloves are closer to my face. I can cover my sides more since the gloves are a little more out here, right? Boom, the shots around the guard, boom, come a little easier. So I have to be a little more aware of pulling my head when someone throws a looping shot, right? The good thing is they have amazing peripheral vision. Dude, I can see my hand right there. I'll show you from the side perspective. I can see my hand right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see my hand right there. I can see my thumb. I can no longer see my hand, right? So it gives you like a little bit of an idea of the peripherals on this headgear. So that's the only thing that I'd say about this set that I personally am still getting used to. And I wouldn't say I don't like it. I'll just say it's different. I'm just not used to it, right? Because I do like the way it fits. I like the way it looks. It gives you that old school look, right? You're here, boom. It's just a little bit big. I just get hit sometimes, and that's fine. The cheek openings are a little more open than your traditional cheek headguard, right? Again, this is more of that old school headgear that you see. So fits very nice. I love the fact that it doesn't get too slippery when I sweat. The inside is leather, so it's not suede like you'd see in a Sting headgear or something like that. This is a leather inside, similar to a ringside headgear or a Guerra Boxing headgear, or which other headgear have I tried? Cleto Reyes headgear. It's the same leather material inside, so it can slip sometimes, but this one I've never had any issues with it being like, you know, all the way over there, right? Personally, it's just not been a thing for me. But, you know, the inside, the top is very comfortable. The back laces up very well. No issues on that end for me. But I am interested in trying their Japanese style headgear. So if I do get another set, I probably will try the Japanese style headgear, or even their nose bar headgear. It's been a while since I've worn a nose bar headgear, and those used to be my favorite. But overall, when I'm talking about this Spartacus boxing set, it's 90% positive, and that 10% is just like, I'm just getting hit more because I'm not used to this mold of headgear, and that's not really something you can put as a point down. This is just like, it's like saying, oh, I'm not used to wearing a nose bar headgear, so I can't see as much. Yeah, that's just due to the nature of the headgear. You use headgears a little differently, right? But yeah, so this has been like my short little review. I have nothing but good things to say. Thank you, Spartacus Boxing, for making me this cool set and making my vision come to life in what I wanted. my 16-ounce gloves right here, I absolutely love them for sparring. I love the way they lace up around the wrist right here. Look, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like when I lace them up, see how puffy they get? They get that puffy old school look right there around the sides. Freaking love it, man. Can't be beat. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, if you have any opinions, if you have tried Spartacus boxing yourself, let me know your opinions down in the comments below. Full transparency, I did pay for this set, and I do have a discount code that you can use with Spartacus Boxing at checkout if you want to save 10%. That is ANT, just my nickname, Ant. You can use that at checkout for 10% off, okay? And I do get that commission. Full transparency, okay? So you can use it, you cannot use it. I know Spartacus Boxing themselves sometimes have a 15% off code, so you could actually save more money that way. I'm not making this review to earn commission. This is just, I love making reviews. As you can see, I've made reviews of a lot of different brands. I'm actually about to make another one right now. So yeah, this has been my short little review on this. Again, I've used this for about a month or two now pretty consistently as my main sparring set. So I feel like I've used it enough to be able to talk on it. And obviously the durability, again, just based on my experience with Spartacus Boxing before, has not been an issue for me. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this YouTube video. If you have tried Spartacus Boxing, let me know. Let me know what brands you would like me to review. Again, I'm not always buying new gloves. If I can find a pair that I can grab on a steal or something like that, I'm always on the lookout for that. But just give me some patience if I don't always get the gloves that you want me to review right away. But yeah, guys, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. Peace.